Hey there, friends, fans, giant antelopes, or whatever may be out there watching this on the YouTubes. I'm Christian Moe, and thank you for joining me in another car review. This week we are at a 2015 Dodge Charger. Now, I was pretty excited when I was being told I was getting this thing because I enjoy the Charger. I like the way it looks. I like the idea of having a big American rear-wheel drive sedan. But then it showed up, and I have the V6 model. Now, that made me a little more sad. And to be honest, for probably at least the first day, I was really not happy in this car. And it's sort of a problem that, as an automotive journalist, you have to get over to make your job effective. But I thought, well, this is a Charger. I need that V8. I need all that power. This car isn't fast enough. It isn't loud enough. It isn't angry enough. But once I separated myself from that after a day or two, you realize that this is actually a really, really good car. So let's start with what this machine actually is. Again, this is a four-door sedan, plenty of room. It is a rear-wheel drive. We got a V6 and an automatic transmission. That doesn't sound like a lot to set your hair on fire. It's an 8-speed auto. I've got the Pentastar 3.6-liter V6 making just under 300 horsepower. In a lot of ways, this is the Chrysler 200 I had a few weeks ago. But that's not the case. For starters, this is a lower trim model of the Charger, so I have not a lot of options. I have no navigation. I've got the tiny little screen. I don't have leather. I don't have any of that sort of stuff. And it is rear-wheel drive, and it's also got a different suspension setup. So if you get over the idea that this should be a huge four-door muscle car and take it for what it is, it's actually a really good sporting machine. So the ride is stiff but not uncomfortable. Do a little bit of seesawing here. You get just a bit of lean and the car bites in and hangs on. For being a rear-wheel drive car, it is not as tail-happy as some of you people in the world may be afraid. In fact, trying to do a burnout just from a dead stop is almost impossible. You have to feather on the brakes and be real specific with it. But it's more of a machine that you can drive and have fun with. The 8-speed auto is actually pretty good. In automatic mode, shifts are really smooth. You stand on the pedal, it downshifts almost immediately. Gives you exactly the gear you need. If you want to, you can kick it over and there's a manual control, so we can go to 5th or we can go back to 4th. Stand on it again. Let's go down to 3rd. It responds just as you ask it to. Shifts are pretty quick. It's a good little car. Steering wheel is awesome. It's big and it's thick and it's covered in this leather and it's got nice handholds on it. Really nice to hold on to. Steering feel, again, I like really heavy steering. This is pretty light. There's a bit of feeling through it, so that's pretty good. It's pretty direct, so I enjoy that about it. Actual options, because like I said, this is kind of a stripper model here. This is the Charger SE, and I have the optional equipment group and the popular equipment group. Together, those add about $1,500. It's the only options in this whole car, so this is basically a base machine. The little sport, or the customer preferred package adds the sport appearance group, which gives me 18-inch alloy wheels and a little bit of extra bits on the body. A little rear spoiler. Then I've got the popular equipment group, which is satellite radio, parking system, and I have my little fancy key fob with the push button start. Otherwise, this is just a regular Dodge Charger that you almost might get from a rental fleet, and it's still really good. I like the cloth seats. I prefer cloth over leather usually, so that's nice. They're not as bolstered as well as I want to, but they're pretty comfy. The driver's side seat here is power, passenger is manual. I do have a bit of leather here on the armrests, so that's nice. The dash has got this, I'm assuming it's plastic, but it kind of feels like metal. It's cold when you get in, which is interesting. The dash itself is like a rubber. It's not a hard, nasty plastic, which is nice. My only real complaint about it is the texture that's on it. Looks kind of cheap and chintzy, but otherwise this is just a great car. And I do enjoy being in here. Price is fairly reasonable. After all the options, Price is $30,580. So considering the cars that are in this sort of price range in this group, this is pretty good. Again, I've got almost 300 horsepower. I'm getting 26 miles to the gallon. Sticker says I should be getting 19 city, 31 highway with a 23 combined. So 26 and a bit combined is great. And like I said, once you really start to cane on it, it actually handles pretty well. And once you really learn how to control it, you can get the back end to step just slightly around turns when you want to. And it's just a fun little sporty thing to drive. Makes a good noise. It's not quite a V8 rumble, but it is very fast-paced, sort of frantic, and it's got a nice burble to the exhaust note. And I have found, once you learn how to treat the car right, it can actually be quite a hoon machine. Like I said, it won't really do a burnout, but if you're someone who likes to make tires smoke and noise, you can do that. So the secret is put just a bit of a turn on the wheel. And once you have that bit of a turn, hit the little traction control sport mode. There we go. And it'll still light up the rear end if you really wanted to. The traction control sport mode has actually been a lot of fun to play with. It won't give you too much of an angle, and it won't let you hold that angle forever, but it will give you enough play in the traction control system that you can sort of have some tail out antics if you're a fan. You know, if you decide you want to track your mostly rental special charger, you can do that and get just a bit of tail out action. Oh, it's a blast. Seriously, it's a good car. The infotainment system is a little odd. As you know, you can get almost every Chrysler underneath the sun now with the huge 8.1 Uconnect system. This one doesn't have the 8.1 system, but the hole is there. So there's a really cheap piece of plastic in the middle of the dash here that holds the smaller screen. Looks like it's maybe 4 inches. It's about the size of an iPhone 5. So that's kind of annoying to see that, but it works well. It responds quickly to touches. You know, I've got iPhone connectivity. I can do Bluetooth. Got climate control functions on there. It does give me a compass. It won't give you navigation. There's a compass button, so it'll tell you what direction you're going. Of course, it does phone controls through there. So all that is good. And like I said, oh, yep, thank you. Running a little low on fuel for my tail out antics. Overall, it's just a nice, fun thing to drive. It's comfy and quiet when you want to settle down. If you want to act like just a total animal, it'll let you do that. And yeah, I really don't know what else to say about it. When I got into it, like I said, I was upset that it was the V6 model and it was an automatic. Of course, they only sell the Charger in an automatic, but you know, I wanted this to be this huge, noisy V8 American muscle car. But once you give it just a little bit of time, you realize that this doesn't need to be that to be good. It is a very nice, well-built machine. It feels taut, it's tight, it's comfy, it's got all the things you want. The noise is good. The speed is good. And again, it's quite a performer if you really learn how to treat it. And for that respect, I like it a lot more than I expected to. So if you want a rear-wheel drive car and you don't want something that's like German, you don't want to bother with the repair bills of a BMW, there's tons of room in here. Like, this is a great choice, and I understand why they're selling so well. Of course, as a 2015 model, this does have the revised design, so most of the car from the front wheels back looks the same as the older models, but the front end has got that new front end with the split grille and the nice rounded lights. It's a little smoother, almost a little more European in design, but it still looks angry. Of course, I've got that great, beautiful full circle racetrack taillight that they call it, where you got that all the way across, really thin outline. That looks beautiful. The car in a lot of ways is just better than I ever expected it to be, and I'm so happy about that. Because Dodge had, I mean, everyone knows that all the American companies had some issues with their cars for a long time, and they're all getting better. And I've driven the Chrysler 300, so that's based on this car, and that is very comfy and squishy and sort of like a boat, and so I was worried about this one. And then again, when it showed up with the V6, I thought it's going to be heavy, it's going to be underpowered, it's going to be crap to drive, and it's none of those. It doesn't feel heavy, it's not crap to drive. Like I said, that 300 horsepower is plenty. You just drop a couple gears, stand on the pedal, and whoosh, away you go, and you get that noise, shift. Oh, it revs up to almost $7 grand. Like, it's just good. Man, this thing is just fun to drive. So anyways, let's go over the quick points and details again. So 2015 Dodge Charger, 3.6 liter V6 Pentastar engine, just shy of 300 horsepower. We have a 8-speed automatic transmission, no real options, cloth seats, 18-inch wheels, a little spoiler on the back. But it's worth every penny, and it's a great thing to drive. And compared to some of its competition, like, I think I might actually own one of these. So, price tag in for this one, $30,580. Window sticker says I should get an average of 23 miles per gallon. I'm getting more than 26. So life is good inside of the Dodge. Once again, I'm Chris Jamo. Thank you guys for joining me. If you want to hear all of my actual full thoughts on this, there is a full written review that will be up on topspeed.com. You can find it there. Otherwise, thank you for joining me. Have yourselves a great day, great week, great weekend, whatever it may be for you. And I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.